In today's education news, shall we see how the recruitment and retention crisis is going in schools in England? Not great, if you're wondering, as the teaching workforce grows by just 259 as recruitment stalls. This is from the DfE's own data, courtesy of Schools Week. The teacher workforce grew by less than 300, but record low numbers of newly qualified staff entered the profession and numbers quitting continue to rise. That means there are now 468,693 teachers working in state-funded school. The drop was more down to newly qualified teachers and only a smaller proportion coming into the profession, 41% compared to 45%. Now, I've talked before, there's many reasons for this. One being the fact that there is no flexibility as far as hybrid working with teaching. Post-COVID, so many jobs, so many careers now have the opportunity of that flexibility, taking days working from home. And so a lot of people coming out of uni, a lot of students want that way of working, and teaching can't accommodate that. I know this is never going to happen, but in an ideal world, imagine you funded schools so that there was staffing in place, so every teacher had a full day PPA and could take that day from home. I think that would be a big factor in solving this, but also improve the retention rate, obviously alongside lots of other stuff as well. There is a continued rise in record numbers of teachers quitting. So the number of teachers leaving for reasons other than retirement or death remains a record high of 39,971, a rate of 8.8%. This number does not surprise me. I'm surprised it's not higher, actually, because if you think over the past year, what has the government done to try and improve the retention rate? Absolutely nothing. And they continue to do nothing for teachers. Every opportunity we have that could sort of incentivize teachers to stay on by reducing workload, reducing that accountability, that endless unneeded pressure, the government stick by. Take, for example, one-word judgments from Ofsted. This is the big thing for me. Recruitment, yes, is an issue, but there's no point recruiting. And I know Labour have said that they're going to recruit 6,500 new teachers, but there's absolutely no point in that if you've got this many leaving. This has to be a priority, and this needs sorting. And then that's backed up with this worrying stat that 1 in 10 new teachers are still leaving after a year. So it has dropped slightly to 11.3% compared to 12.8% in 2021, but still below what it was in 2010. Nearly a third of teachers will leave the profession in 5 years. So that's increased compared to what it was in 2010. And what really frustrates me is that a lot of teachers I speak to who have left the profession have actually then gone into another job that is on less pay than what you get as a teacher, but they feel it's better work-life balance, it's escaping a real toxic environment. And this is what really annoys me, because I love teaching. I think teaching should be the best job in the world. But what this government has done and sort of just completely destroy our education system to lead to these sort of statistics is just so frustrating. Also, this stat that then goes to prove when the government say that there's more teachers in education than ever before, they're not taking into account how many children are in their education system. So teacher vacancies have now doubled from 2020 to 2023. This is the equivalent of 2 vacancies per 1,000 teachers 3 years ago to 6 per 1,000 teachers last year. This then leads to worrying statistics like this, where pupil to teacher ratios in special schools and referral units continues to rise. So hitting a high of 6.5 pupils to 1 teacher compared to what it was a decade ago when it was 5.4. Sort of stayed the same in secondary school, which is still the highest on record, and it sort of fluctuates a little bit in primary schools. So to take from that, I think obviously recruitment is a massive issue, but a bigger issue for me is the retention crisis. There's absolutely no point getting people into the profession for them to last less than 5 years and leave. That isn't going to benefit the students, it's not going to benefit the system, and we're going to continue to see these statistics get worse and worse. So the question to you, and I'd love to know your answer in the comments, what would you do to solve that retention crisis? What needs to change in our education system to keep people in the profession? Maybe you're a teacher who has left the profession. What was it that caused that to happen? What would you like to see change that might bring you back to the profession, or what could have changed to keep you in the profession?